In this video, we're going to take a look at another kind of transformation called rotations. So a rotation is basically like a spin. It's going to take a point or a set of points and spin it around a given point. So for example, let's say I have point A and I'm going to do a rotation around the other point there to the left. I could spin kind of in a counterclockwise direction. Looks sort of like a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. So that could take my pre-image and map it to that image A prime. Now with rotations, I could go in two different directions. I did a counterclockwise rotation of 90 degrees. I could have also gone clockwise and ended up down there. So whenever we're doing rotations, we need those two pieces of information. We need to know which direction. Are we going to go clockwise? Are we going to go counterclockwise? And we need to know how much. So just a little summary of what we're going to see working with points in the XY plane. If I wanted to do a 90-degree rotation counterclockwise, so these are all counterclockwise rotations, what I would do to my coordinates is change the order. So put the Y in the X spot and the X in the Y spot, but then also take the opposite sign of where I'm at on the Y. So for example, if I look at that point 5, 2, to do a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation, I would put the 2 in the X position, the 5 in the Y position, and then take the opposite sign of where I landed in the X position. So that takes me to -2, 5. Now you can also think about, well, what about a rotation in the other direction, like a clockwise rotation? Just remember, everything adds up to 360 for a full rotation. So if I do a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation, that would really be the same as a 270 degrees clockwise rotation. I could have taken that point and spun around the origin 270 degrees in the other direction. I would have landed in the exact same spot. So these rotations, you can think of them also in the clockwise direction and how much. If I want to do a 180-degree rotation, I just take the opposite sign of my X and my Y. So this should look actually pretty familiar to some reflections. This is another kind of reflection that we've seen before. So if I have the point 5, 2, I can just take the opposite sign of the X and the Y. That lands me 180 degrees on the opposite side of the origin. And you can think about the clockwise amount. Well, 180 degrees actually lands you in the same spot regardless. So this is not only a 180-degree counterclockwise rotation, it's also 180-degree clockwise rotation. So it doesn't matter if you turn around to your left or to your right, you're still facing in the same direction. The last rotation is going to be 270 degrees counterclockwise. So it's almost like the 90-degree rotation. You swap the X and Y, except the thing that you take the opposite sign of is in the opposite position there. So going back to that same point, 5, 2, if I swap the order and then whatever's in the Y position, I now take the opposite sign, that would give me a 270-degree counterclockwise rotation. And you could probably guess how much of a rotation that would be in the clockwise direction. That should be 90. So these are all counterclockwise rotations, but you can also come up with clockwise rotations as well. This should be enough to get you started on those questions for rotations.